Underdog of the PS1 titles, Final Fantasy Tactics is Yasumi Matsuno's medieval-esque masterpiece, beloved for its sprawling narrative and rich characters. Re-released in 2007 for the PSP, and now re-released for modern platforms as the Ivalice Chronicles, players are once again invited to experience the world as young nobleman turned mercenary Reis and Beowulf. His companions might have their own reasons for joining up, but it's a shared sense of justice that keeps them in the party. I'm Jack from EXP Required, and here are 7 of our favourite supporting characters in Final Fantasy Tactics. Beware of light spoilers, and thanks to Square Enix for the review code. Caught between worlds, Delita occupies a unique place in the story of Tactics, too privileged to relate to the common folk, but never truly fitting in with the nobles either. Absent from our side for the vast majority of the game, we see a different side to Delita every time he appears on screen. With how violent his introduction is, it would be easy to consider him a villain, but our time with him sees a thoughtful and sometimes insecure young man who grows to be keenly aware of the tricks this world has up its sleeves. Not content with leaving his fate to chance, Delita's path quickly diverges from Rams's, and after Chapter 1, we rarely spend any time with him. Every chance encounter reveals more about his view of the world, and just how far he's willing to go to avenge his sister, even at the cost of the lives of so many others. The tides of fate push both Reis and Delita apart, but their shared history propels both boys forward, whether that be as friend or foe. And regardless as to whether you agree with his methods, we can't help but be impressed that a common boy beat 2 lions. Initially presented as an opportunistic thief, there's more to Mustadio than meets the eye. A likeable fellow with a heart of gold. We first meet him being hunted down by the Bart Trading Company, and though he's reluctant to explain why, it soon comes to light that their malice is spurred on by a mysterious stone. Openly disdainful of the disreputable actions of Bart's cronies, Mustadio is no Robin Hood. His thievery was born of desperation to save his father's life. This is enough to impress Princess Ophelia, who allows him to accompany you to Lionel and meet its lord. In battle, Mustadio is a great supporting character. His background as a machinist allows him to disable distant foes, and though his weapons can only be bought at Gaug, legend has it there's elemental guns out there just waiting to be found. Effortlessly stepping into the best friend-shaped hole in Rams's life, Mustadio's presence often provides some much-needed levity for both party and player, whether he's trying to court fellow party member Agrias or suffering at the hands of Construct 8, we're glad to have him along for the ride. Heiress apparent to perhaps Rams's greatest enemy, Meliadoul Tengille meets us first as enemies on the battlefield, in the wake of her brother's death. Blamed for the carnage at Riavane's castle, Ramza has become public enemy number 1 in the church's eyes, and Divine Knight Meliadoul considers it her mission to hunt him down. Though Ramza repeatedly protests his innocence, it falls on deaf ears, and little wonder when he attempts to shift the blame to Meliadoul's own father, no matter how right he is. Our second encounter with her happens as we face down the most bizarre of the mythical Lucavi, and only when she hears the truth from its demonic lips does she change her mind. Though heartbroken by the truth, she still vows to help us put an end to the church's schemes, and by extension her father. And as proof of her change of allegiance, she hands over another piece of Auracite. Though she joins fairly late in the game, you'll likely want her in your permanent lineup, due to her great stats and equipment. We're only sorry she joined so late. Weegraf wouldn't have stood a chance with her at our side. So a group of adventurers hear about a dragon, in a dungeon. Not content with the traditional D&D introduction, Final Fantasy Tactics continues with its pop culture references by introducing us to literary legend Beowulf, who once again seems to be hunting dragons. Only after slaying demons, sharpshooters, and pigs, is it revealed that the dragon in question is Beowulf's companion Reis, and the two join your party in thanks. The story doesn't end there, however. Travelling to the cursed Isle of Nelveska allows Reis to transform into a human, having been cursed to live as a dragon until our intervention, and the lovers swear to never again leave each other's side. In a world where those who love each other seem to be continually ripped apart, getting to see a happy ending is a real treat, and of course, having another 2 great units in the roster is always a plus. It's also great to see a character who could easily have been another damsel in distress be one of the strongest units in the game. Only one question remains: is Reis the only dragonkin in Ivalice, or are there others as well? The only permanent party member who's known Ramza since childhood, Count Orlandeau initially appears under the Black Lion's banner. One of the few nobles who actively wants to end the war, it becomes quickly clear that he doesn't belong with scheming nobles, a fact that ends with him being marked for death. Lucky for Cid, his would-be assassin decides to set him free instead of see him hang, and a lookalike takes the blow instead. His name besmirched, Orlandeau finds new purpose in opposing the church with us. While Cids are a staple of Final Fantasy, it's rare we get to have one in the team, and if this wasn't great enough, we're pretty sure anyone titled a god would boost team morale. Armed to the teeth, the Count's swordsmanship is second only to his rigid ideals, and though we don't see it firsthand, it's easy to imagine him tutoring Ramza on the road. One of the last party members to join the group, Cid's veteran experience quickly cements him as a powerhouse, likely finding a permanent place on the field with you. Just be careful not to get too carried away in crowds. In our quest to rescue Alma, we come across another set of siblings, but unlike our hero and his sister, they appear at first glance to be at odds. Their introduction sees a disagreement turn physical, and Ramza must step in. Turns out Rapha and Marach are the only survivors of a village burnt to the ground, and the man responsible is their adopted father, Grand Duke Barrington. One sibling refuses to believe this awful truth, while the other tries to wrest free of the Duke's control, with tragic results. Seeing a reflection of what Delita and Tetra could have been would be enough to soften anyone's heart, and we're relieved when the conclusion to their story ends differently. This miracle also showcases a different side to the Zodiac Stones that goes otherwise undocumented, hinting that maybe the power within isn't entirely evil. In battle, the two act as seers, magicians whose powers do not rely on faith, unlike every other spell in the game. Mantras strike tiles randomly with elemental damage, and the description of both siblings' jobs implies that with enough training, they might become the most powerful beings in all of Ivalice. Bodyguards of the princess and the second female knight in the franchise, Agrias Oakes immediately cements herself as both cold and capable. Raised as a man following the death of her brother, she refuses to let others dictate her self-worth, going so far as to cut ties with her own house in order to do so. Quick to snap back at anyone who disparages her, all Agrias wants is to ensure the safety of Princess Ophelia, and when she is betrayed and separated from her charge, her path quickly joins with Ramza's to throw her into a plot against the church. Never again able to protect the princess, as she stands by her heretical friend, Agrias ultimately fades into the background. Her involvement offers a unique view into Ivalice, however. No other noble swordswoman makes her presence known, and the Ivalice Chronicles elaborates on what a woman's lot in life is like. In battle, Agrias is a welcome presence, able to cast strong Holy Knight techniques, and highly effective at spellcasting. Even after later knightly characters join the ranks, we still can't find it in ourselves to banish her from the battlefield. And with instant casts at her disposal, why would we? So that was our list of 7 of our favourite supporting characters in Final Fantasy Tactics. Let us know your favourites in the comments below. If you'd like to hear more Final Fantasy and other gaming discussion, we also have a podcast link below. Thanks for watching and see you next time!